Hi, I'm Don from DonDronesOn. I have to be honest, I haven't been on a bike in 25 years, but here I am on a brand new e-bike from Heybike. It's a Cityrun model, and well, let's see how it goes. I'm scared. Woo! This is so fun. So yeah, the Heybike folks sent me this Cityrun e-bike in exchange for this review. But my first challenge was putting it together. Now, I'm reasonably skilled mechanically, but as far as I can recall, I've never put together a bicycle before. As you can see in this time lapse, the bike came in a huge box and was really securely packaged up. And it came with all the tools you would need for assembly, mostly a variety of Allen keys. It took me about an hour and a half to put together. The written instructions that came in the box are reasonably good. Not great, but certainly got me through it. Heybike also has a video on YouTube for assembling this bike, and I encourage you to watch that, but it glossed over some of the trickier parts. If you are the least bit worried, I'd recommend you get a bike shop to assemble it for you. The Cityrun bike is a big girl, 185 centimeters long and weighing in at 28 kilograms. This is not a bike to pop in the car for a picnic. In fact, I couldn't squeeze it in the back of my Honda Pilot unless I took the front wheel off. It's what is called a Class 2 e-bike, which means its motor is 500 watts and the maximum speed is 32 kilometers per hour. In Ontario, Canada, where I live, that's the biggest e-bike you can ride before it is considered a motorcycle. Now, speaking of rules, here in Ontario, you need to be at least 16 years old to ride an e-bike, but otherwise, it's just like regular bicycle rules, including wearing a helmet. The Cityrun has an incredible range. If you're using a normal amount of pedal assist, you can go up to 89 kilometers on a single charge. And if you don't pedal at all, they claim you'll be able to go 64 kilometers. And, this seems about right from my experience. Earlier in the week, I went 25 kilometers in very windy conditions, and it was cold. I was going up and down some, mild hills. And when I got home, the battery was down only about a third. From a technical perspective, the Cityrun has a 500-watt hub motor. The battery capacity is 15 amp hours, and it takes about 3 to 4 hours to fully charge. You can charge the battery either in the bike or remove the battery and charge it externally. The battery locks in place with a key. The tires are pretty beefy, 66 centimeters in diameter and 6.35 centimeters wide. This gives you a nice smooth ride on pavement and takes some of the harshness out of rougher roads as well. The front forks have adjustable spring suspension, which is great for potholes, but I sure wish the seat had a spring in it. The seat's comfortable, don't get me wrong, but man, my butt hurt after that 25-kilometer ride. Okay, I am a geezer. There's 7 gears on the rear hub, easy to change up and down using a thumb control near your right hand. On the left side, you can control the amount of pedal assist from 0 up to 5. I found I used levels 3 and 4 most of the time. There's also a throttle lever, which allows you to control the motor if you don't want to pedal at all. There are hand-operated hydraulic disc brakes on the front and back wheels. I found them smooth and easy to operate, and they brought the bike to a stop without any significant effort. One cool feature is that when you activate the brakes, the rear lights flash. Now, my front brakes were rubbing a bit when I first assembled it, but not a big deal. I figured out how to adjust it on YouTube. In the middle of the handlebars, there's a display screen that shows your battery charge, your speed, current pedal assist level, and has an odometer. The display has large, clear numbers. You can turn on a backlight, and it's very easy to read. There's also an app available for your phone that allows you to switch the display between miles and kilometers, lets you customize some of the pedal assist parameters, and has an automatic lock-unlock capability, so if you're nearby, your bike unlocks. Now, I tried that, but it seemed to be randomly turning off the control, so I just disabled it. Some of the other stuff on the app, like pedal assist sensitivity, is difficult to understand, so I just left it alone. The last control on the handlebars is for sound and lights. There's a horn button to make a pleasant beeping sound, and you can turn the front and rear lights on, and there's, well, a slightly awkward to use turn signal switch. I think it's better to use arm signals for indicating your turns rather than to rely upon the turn signal lights that motorists might not even see. And as I mentioned, the backlight flashes when you apply the brakes, and that's cool. While we're talking about lights, I'll mention one problem I encountered that may baffle others too. The front and back lights are designed to automatically come on at night, which is all well and good. The catch is, this feature means that if you park in a dark place like a garage, it seems like you can't turn them off unless you remove the battery. Fortunately, there is a solution. Hiding under the throttle lever is an auto button. Pushing that disables the automatic lights, and all is well. Moving on, the Cityrun is designed for riders between 160 and 195 centimeters tall, or between 5 foot 3 inches and 6 foot 5. Maximum capacity is an admirable 159 kilograms, including both the rider and any cargo. The rear rack has a capacity of 54 kilograms. Heybike offers both front and rear baskets as options, and there are attachment points on the frame for those. They also offer a saddlebag kit. Okay, but what is this bike actually like to ride? And remember, I've never ridden an e-bike before and haven't even been on a regular bike for decades. I can't wait for the comments. I'm quite sure I've done all sorts of things wrong. And just for one, before anyone says so, I know I had the seat too low when I was filming.
Hey, we made it back. First impressions. It's really cool because you start pedaling and then within just like maybe a half a rotation, you start feeling this boost. It's like somebody's gently pushing you from behind. And yeah, so it's easy to pedal, very smooth. My only concern has, my first serious ride, I went maybe 100 meters. So my only concern from a newbie's perspective is there's a lot of bits and pieces going on here. You got your brakes, you got your gears, you got your pedal assist levels, you got a camera going. Maybe that's not a usual problem, but yeah, there's just, for an old geezer who hasn't been on a bike, it's a lot to kind of take in at once. So I'm going to keep it simple, keep it in a relatively low gear. I'm going to go down to the end of the road and back, which is about 1 kilometer. Maybe I'll make it back.
After that very first ride, I went on a couple of longer trips. The huge range gave me the confidence to ride all the way into the local village, which is about 9 kilometers each way. I was on a mix of asphalt and gravel roads and sometimes rode on the gravel shoulder just when there was too much traffic for my comfort level. The bike was super easy to ride and easily handled the gravel and the moderate hills along the way. There was a pretty strong wind too, and yet it was no more effort than quietly riding on level terrain. And once I gained enough confidence to use the gears more effectively, the hills became even easier. And by the way, the gears changed smoothly and quietly. That said, I will mention that I sometimes found changing the pedal assist levels a bit finicky, but that could be because I was wearing gloves. I'm sure I'll get the hang of that in time. Considering what a newbie I am on e-bikes, I had virtually no problem figuring stuff out, so I was pretty comfortable after a few rides.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's easy to ride. It's really just like riding a regular bike, except you've got the pedal assist. And once you get used to setting it to a comfortable level, works fantastically. You got all the speedometer stuff, which is nice. I'd never had that when I was a kid. The gears are easy to operate up and down once you get used to it. I mean, I'm not used to this particular arrangement. I'm used to just a lever. But it works great. I tried the throttle once. I just tapped it just then. Yeah, it goes. Apparently it goes. The horn's there. I probably had my turn signals flashing the whole way. No, I didn't. Did not have my light on, but it's nice that you have the option to turn it on and off. And yeah, so overall, Heybike Cityrun model, I love it. It's great. Give it a shot.